What's up, Trader's Edge? Well, it was a wild day in the markets. Huge ranges in all the major indexes, crazy movement in the VIX, bond market all over the place. I'm going to break down what happened, why, and where we're going next. So, with that, let's dig in. Everybody. So, on the day, the Dow closed down ever so slightly, 0.4 points. Now, pre-market, it was up over 200. The S&P closed up 26 points. At its peak, it was a full 50 bucks higher. We were up almost 80. Now, on its lows, it was all the way down at 66.13. Just another day of huge ranges. The Qs closed up 0.7, and IWM, which is a name we've been watching, once again leading the charge higher. It was up 1% at one point. It was up almost 2%. So what is going on? Why are we making these wild moves? The answer is uncertainty. There are a lot of balls up in the air right now. There's Fed governor after Fed governor speaking. We have this big risk-off event that happened on Friday where people were very scared. Remember, risk-off means traders are selling stocks to buy bonds and VIX and go to cash and gold. And you have Trump introducing tariffs. We still have a government shutdown. There are a lot of balls in the air that traders aren't exactly sure how to, navigate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how to navigate this market right now. And the answer is I do believe that despite the NASDAQ having a good day and the Dow having a bad day, we're in a bit of a rotation. And what do I mean by that? Well, looking at the last week, I want you to notice, I'm going to go to 1 month. I want you to notice how weak names like Apple appear to be. And even an NVIDIA. And, I can go down the line of the great 8 names. Microsoft. Really, the top end, the biggest stocks in the world are seeing some money coming out of them. Some of that money is going to cash. Some of that money is moving to stocks like AMD that are maybe a step below the size of these massive companies. Palantir is another one I'm kind of watching closely that seems to be kind of stuck in a range. Pretty flat today, but the big stocks outside of Broadcom, I don't know if you want to call AMD one of those big stocks, they are seeing some outflows. Where is that money going into? It's going into the Russell 2000. It's going into gold. Gold is looking like it's going to 400. GLD is. It's going into the bond market, which still appears to be very strong. So money is saying, we've had a really good run. Maybe it's time for me to take a break from the NVIDIAs and Apples of the world and move into some of the other names that are in this market, like the Russell 2000, like some of the industrials that today looked pretty strong. Names like, GE. GE looks real strong. Names like SanDisk. SanDisk is absolutely crushing it right now. A lot of people think of SanDisk as like the little mini drive. No, it's primarily known for solid state drives. Those are really important for every kind of computer. This thing is taking off. This is a name that we picked up in our option pit small cap portfolio. And the position that we have on is absolutely skyrocketing. Now, I want to address VIX. You know, we have recovered a lot of the rally of the sell-off from Friday. We really have. VIX is still really bid, and that shows you how uncertain this market is and why we're going to be heading for some continued volatility here. VIX above 20 means we are going to have wild moves. So what do you do in this market? Well, one, as I've been saying, I'm rotating into small caps. Two, I'm taking profits quicker, much quicker. And then three, I'm trimming positions in these mega caps. They're ginormous, but you know, I get Google cheap enough. That's one I'm still interested in. But most of these, I'm kind of trimming. The only one I really like owning out of the grade 8 stocks right here is probably Google. Relative to its peers, still pretty inexpensive. And the other name I still really like is Reddit. It got clipped, but I am liking Reddit as well. So what can you expect for the rest of the week? More of this. Where we open doesn't necessarily correlate to where we're going to close. How we move intraday is going to change. You know, a lot of times we gap open, we keep going, we gap open, we sit. We gap down, we keep going, gap open, we sit. We're in a market where big move up, going to be faded, and then we'll figure out where we go. Big move down, probably faded, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go. Speaking about where we're going to go, if you are trying to figure out how to navigate this market and you want to go beyond trading in the Russell 2000, you have to check out what Andrew's doing. This is his number one strategy for his retirement account. You can click the link right here to check out what he's up to with his Flash 7 program. If you're watching me on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ask a question, and I will answer. All right, everybody. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Have a good one.